I'm going to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Opening debate failed to address what actually is the main problem of today's motion, how OG never explained well about why this is justified to impoverish them, other than for deterrence effect, and how OO never even tried to fix or clarify the status quo proposed by OG and stick the jailing time with no better explanation as to why this is more effective compared to the government bench proposed in the first place, right? Several independent rebuttals to the OO itself. First, when they say that even with the death sentence or death punishments, people will still do it. I don't. We think that this is because when you are faced with death sentence, you will no longer suffer, right? You will no longer feel the suffering for a long time. That's why crimes with death sentence usually also repeated. In this kind of thing, we let them to live and under after they are being impoverished, after they don't have any more assets or money, and this will be more suffering for them, right? That's why we think that this will not make them deter and also regret in the end of the day. Second, upon the idea that they never explained why jail and also rehabilitation alone and probably will fine or penalty alone is actually enough for punishing the corruptors itself, right? Because in CG, we also have jailing time as rehabilitation. Talking about the rehabilitation, which one is actually better, right? Compared to the OO, when you only have rehabilitation and jailing and whatnot, we believe that rehabilitation will work well and way better in CG because what we believe that rehabilitation works when you are in your lowest or vulnerable positions, right? Meaning, in here, we already impoverish them. We take all of their resources, we take all of their money and assets. They have nothing. This means that the rehab can actually work because they are in their lowest and also in their lowest positions, right? Compared to the OO, when these people still have connection, when these people still have power, still have money and also asset, we believe that rehabs won't work because once they go out from jail, they can still repeat it again, right? Because they still have the same power and also the same money like before, right? That's why rehabilitation will be on CG's side. Second, thirdly, upon the idea that OO try to say that, oh, in government bench, it will be hard to untangle corruption because they will hide it better. I think that this is not exclusive, right? Because both bench agree that corruptions is a crime, right? That means when people are doing corruptions, they will try their best to hide it, right? So that's why the problem that we're facing both in both benches are actually the same. But what happened is that under CG, we believe that what my member already told you before, that this is way better in untangling corruption because the subordinate or the people that involved in this in the cases will try to report their bosses because they do not want to go die alone or to go down alone, right? They want to drag down the boss itself because they don't want to be the only one that being impoverished with the government, right? So that's why in the case of untangling or solving the corruption cases, it is still winning by the CG, right? What are we talking about in this debate? Two clashes here. First, upon the idea that whether or not impoverishing is justified, and second, whether or not this will be beneficial, right? For the first clashes, whether impoverishing is justified. OG tried to say that yes, it is justified because it will give deterrence effects, and also, yeah, it gives deterrence effects. While OCG entered the debate by saying not only that it is all for deterrence only, but also this is for the betterment, and also why this is actually justified by how this fulfills the parameter of CGS itself upon the idea of intention, right? How they are very aware about the consequences, how they are very insensitive with the current condition when this is pandemic and Juliara Batubara is even corrupting the bansos itself, right? Meaning that they are very evil in the end of the day. So that's why it is still good for us. It is justified for us to do impoverishment on them. Second, upon the idea that OO saying that, oh, this is not justified because it will be very unfair. Second, that they also believe that jail time and also rehab will work. Jail time and also rehab will work. We don't think that this is still relevant enough because in status quo it is already proven that jail time and also rehab and also even final penalty is not enough. How people or how Setia Novanto can buy luxurious jail, how they still can hire people to manage their business, how they can still bribe the juror, or also the judge itself. How can they still, after they go out from the jail, they still have the money to hire media and clear the image of them, right? That's the reason why many ex-corruptors can go back to political party or government body and and even recidivate or repeat the same crimes, because they still have power and also they still have the money to do it, right? In the moment, that's why we believe that impoverishment is still justified in the end of the day. Second, upon the idea that will this be beneficial, right? We believe that this is beneficial because first, CG already told you that it's not about that it's not only about the repairment that we can give back to the society like what OG already proposed. It is also first is that this will give an advancement in untangling corruption cases, right? My member already told you that that corruption cases usually involve many or a lot of people inside, right? That it's not only one person, but it's also involving many people, including even like the family relatives, like what Ratu Atut cases already done in the previous way, right? Second, CG also proposed that the benefits of this impoverishment is that this will incentivize the family of the family to prevent corruption happening, right? Because they also they will also get the effect of the impoverishment, right? No one wants to be impoverished in the end of the day. That's why they will try to prevent their family or maybe like their parents from going or getting corruption in the and that's getting corruptions, right? Or saying that this is not beneficial because then they will be the burden of the state, right? My member already told you that this is not relevant because it's BOP is that whether or not this is actually beneficial, this is actually justified, right? But even if they want to propose this kind of burden issue, we believe that it is still okay because what in the status quo, even like the criminals like the rapists or the murderer are still also burden of the state, right? That this we are still obliged to give them food to take care of them. That's why we think that this is still the same for both benches, right? Moreover, we believe that this is will be going to be beneficial because we're taking all of their assets, right? Because my member already told you that it's not only that the assets are gotten by the corruption money, but also this is because they are trying to modify their money to their past assets, right? How this is actually their strategy to divide their money because they don't want their wealth to be easily tracked. That's why they divide their money and also try very hard to make it untraceable for the government itself. So that's why we proudly propose. Thank you.